On Friday, August 27, 2021, in a work-related phone call with a Supreme Master television team member, our most beloved Supreme Master Ching kindly answered some questions and shared her genuine thoughts related to the United States handling of the recent developments in Afghanistan, which saw many innocent lives tragically perish.
Master, now people blame Biden for the deaths in Kabul and they want him to resign. What does Master think about that?
I agree.
Oh.
Yeah, because if he continues, more Americans will be harmed, not just outside, but inside America as well.
Right.
It's worrisome, you know. This guy is not fit to rule.
Yes.
Now he lost trust from the world, from European allies. And many Americans died. Many Afghan allies also died, just like that.
Right.
For nothing. From nothing.
Yes.
Just because he doesn't listen to the advice from his military commanders, you know, the generals and all that.
Yeah.
There's advice that we know that he received, as though he claims several times that he had his advisors agree with him. We know from our meetings that that's not the case. We have done one of the worst withdrawals that I believe I've ever seen in my life.
What we have here is just a string of terrible judgment and decisions that just have left the door open for further failure. I mean, we've had a string of decisions like the arbitrary evacuation date itself that you just talked about, the August 31st. We cannot let the Taliban make that decision for us. And then the decision to give up Bagram Air Base to the Taliban, that's incredible. 2 runways, easily defendable, isolated, and here we are stuck in Kabul. Evacuating our troops before American citizens were evacuated. It's just incredible that was done. Depending on the Taliban for our security, amazing that we would be dependent on a terrorist group, and then giving them a list of our people, our allies' names, green card holders, and American citizens that are trying to get out. I mean, that's a death sentence, especially for these Afghan allies. And then leaving, worst of all, I think, is leaving $85 billion worth of equipment there. This is why I think we need leadership change. I think that this president is hopeless as a commander-in-chief. He's totally incompetent. He's totally incapable. He doesn't listen. I think he needs to resign immediately. I think he ought to be removed using the 25th Amendment. Even some Democrats have even talked about that, or even an impeachment.
Even 5-year-old kids know that.
Yeah.
You cannot just take all the Army's defense system and means and weapons and armies out and then take the rest out. That's not possible. I told you already, the airport, there's nowhere to hide. You know, the American soldiers, they are very brave.
Yeah.
And they're just risking it. And this is just inviting attack. They have just a few guns, small ones, just to keep order with the good people, like the Afghan allies who went to the airport to escape.
Yes.
Just a few guns, symbolic. They cannot defend themselves or anybody.
Yeah. True.
If somebody wants to attack, they're doomed.
Yeah.
Biden really killed them. I told you he will mess up. He's not fit to be a president. I told you long before already that if he's a president, he will lose trust from the international community.
Yeah.
What would happen if Mr. Biden were to become president?
Well, what would happen? Well, it's very difficult to pinpoint. But America will lose trust from the international community. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Everybody would know if you want to withdraw the troops, there will be civilians who have to come out first, protected. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, Master.
You cannot just take all the armies out first and then rescue people.
Yeah.
Because you're not in the position to protect yourself and them.
Right.
Nobody has ever handled a withdrawal worse than Joe Biden. We take the military out before we took our civilians out and before we took the interpreters and people that helped us.
I think people are right. I don't know how many 70% of people judge that his decision is bad. I agree. I think he should resign immediately to save Americans' lives and the Afghan allies' lives if they want to rebuild the trust of the international ally community and if they want to save more Americans' lives.
Yeah, I agree also.
Oh my God, you can see so obviously, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no protection anymore. Just some civilians and some American man being on the shoulders not enough to do even the procedures, checking their papers, and protecting them. How?
Yeah.
The American shoulders, and they have to do like civilian jobs as well, like checking the Afghan papers.
Yes.
Yeah, checking the visa or registering them and all that. And then also so-called protecting them and getting them on the airplane at the same time.
Yeah.
In such as an airport like that, or open, you know? There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, no protection.
No, nothing. He has good advisors, not that he doesn't have, but he just doesn't listen to them. Even 5-year-old kids would know how to protect the people.
Yes, Master.
He just kowtows to the Taliban at the expense of his own people and the Afghan allies, and even bringing also some Taliban's lives with it. Some Taliban were there also. Of course, they're also checking, checking the papers to let people in and all that to see who come in, qualify or not. Because not all Afghans can go in, just the people who have been working with the Americans, you know, or maybe with the government. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That try to escape and want to run away. And of course, they don't want to keep so-called enemies around.
Yeah.
They promise to let them go, so they're also there to check. So they die also with the Americans and their own innocent people.
Yes.
Children also. Women also. Elderly also. Oh, this is terrible.
Terrible.
This is terrible.
The blast has left 2-year-old Mohammad Reza fighting for his life. This looks set to be one of the deadliest incidents ever in this horrific conflict. So many of the victims, those who had worked with the international community. Those killed in this awful attack were trying to escape years of violence in Afghanistan. Instead, they became the latest victims in a country torn apart by bloodshed.
Biden has blood on his hands.
Yes.
He should step down immediately. I don't care who else made president, make Trump president. Somebody who has more intelligence, who has more common sense, and who listens to the wise advice of his people, of the commanders, of the army, you know, and of his security force and all that.
Yeah, right.
They know what they're doing.
Yes.
He has never been in battle. He never had to know any strategy about fighting. So he should listen to them. He should let them do the job.
Yeah, exactly.
But because he took their position as commander-in-chief, so they know it's wrong, but they had to do what he told, what he asked. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it were me, I wouldn't listen. Now it results in that. Yes. Many Americans died. Many Afghans died. You know, including the Taliban. This is no good.
No.
Yeah, and it's easy for him to stand on the podium and say, oh, I will do this, I will do that, I will track you down. How? They have no power anymore in Afghanistan right now. Yeah. Nothing. All the defensive systems gone.
True.
Or will be in the hands of the Taliban or whoever gets the power and gets the hands on it.
All of the military equipment. We have billions and billions of dollars worth of new Black Hawk helicopters, brand new Army tanks, and all sorts of equipment.
The Americans have abandoned so much equipment. The Taliban can fight their next 2 wars with American weapons. They won't have to worry about the Kalashnikovs. They've got all the American stuff.
The Taliban has taken over. Their fighters drive US-made Humvees laden with US-made weapons around the last US military installation in Afghanistan. They look and act like former Afghan government soldiers. The white flag, the only indication this is the Taliban.
America got out in such a hurry with no thought that I think it's just been a terrible mess.
And they don't have anywhere to work as a base.
Yes.
They have another airport or other airports, but there's nothing there anymore. They cannot even operate anywhere except that Kabul, which is all open and all dangerous for them, for the soldiers.
Yeah,
they're very brave. They just stay there. There's nothing there for them to hide. Just a few guns. I told you.
Yeah.
And now it happened. And they've been warned also. Oh, my God.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah. And if he wants to revenge, I don't know how. Send in some secret spies to, run around the whole country, chasing one by one, kill them or something?
No.
They can't even bomb anybody now.
No.
Of course they can do that, but that will be like the same as 20 years ago again. Bringing in the big armies and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like begin anew again.
I see.
Start from ABC again. And that will be a big bloodshed.
Yes, Master.
And this will be even worse. He should just step down, man. Whoever becomes president must have more IQ, more common sense, and less ego.
Yes.
Trump can come up. In this situation, anyone is better than Biden.
Right.
Or let the army decide. Otherwise, Americans are trapped now in Afghanistan. And who knows what their fate will be.
Yes.
And their allies, the ones who worked for them before, what will become of them? Really, you send your soldier to die. And they're stuck there, including the tourists also, American tourists and others. Okay.
It's a horrible time.
He made it happen, and then now he wants revenge. If he had done it more intelligently, then people wouldn't have to die.
Yes.
If he revenge, more people will die. What's the use of that? We cannot bring the Americans' lives or Afghan allies' lives back.
Yes, Master.
Okay. I'm so sad. Their life was just not so early like that. We're not so young and handsome and strong and able, and trained.
Right.
In many aspects, not just killing only. The armies, they are capable of many things, just like the police.
Yes.
Yeah, survival and all that, and defense and help and protection. They have been trained in many different fields.
Yeah.
So one soldier lost is one big asset lost. Yeah, and one precious human life lost. You see, he has family, he has parents, he has a wife, kids or girlfriend waiting for him. And now, no more. They won't ever see him again. Like the border, he messed it up. Yeah, he just let him in without any strategy, without any preparation.
Yeah.
In the pandemic, yeah? Now, the people here are desperate. And it's the Americans' responsibility to help them out. And he hesitated, dilly-dallied, and until they died. And now they're stuck. Now, even if anybody wants to rescue them, very difficult. It would have been safe to take people out. If he has moved them out much earlier, he should step down before more Americans' lives are wasted.
Yes, Master.
He, Vice President, and Pelosi, and many other Democrats, they all should go to save lives.
Yes.
And the army also should be prepared, should be more careful with security in their own homeland, strengthen their alert and power.
So, would Master say that Americans would actually have to be worried if Biden continues as president?
Yes.
We are in deep gratitude for Compassionate Master's earnest concern and her forthright advice to the United States government's leadership. It is our prayer that the individuals in power will listen to Master's valuable words for a brighter and more peaceful future for both the country and the international community. Wishing gracious Master ever more tranquility and safety as secured by all magnificent heavens. Please tune in to Between Master and Disciples on Sunday, September 12th to find out why Master sees that a future under a Biden presidency is cause for serious concern.